It is time once again for the Morning Mindset. Are you ready? Are you ready to get your mind aligned with the truth of God? That's what the Morning Mindset is here for, and I hope you're taking this seriously, that every day you're setting aside time, whether it's with this Morning Mindset or in some other way, to get your mind right, to get your thinking aligned with God's way of viewing the universe, the world, and your role in it. Because as we think is the way we are going to live. Yesterday, I gave you a little bit of a teaser about a story that I want to tell you about a friend of mine, someone I knew years back, who really was an amazing individual to me. His name is Mark, and Mark had a severe form of cerebral palsy. He was confined to a wheelchair for 90% of his life. The only time he wasn't was when he had to get out of the wheelchair to go to the restroom or to get into his bed to sleep. And Mark, the amazing thing about Mark is that he had this incredible mind. He was very sharp, very smart guy. And he was determined as much as he was able to live alone. And so Mark lived in his own apartment. He fixed his own food. He kept his own house. He got in and out of his own bed. He got in and out of the chair to go to the bathroom. I mean, anything Mark needed to do, as much as he was able, he did himself. And as his condition progressed and worsened, he needed more help from the church family. And that's where I met him. I was pastor at the church where Mark attended. And Mark was determined to care for himself, even in the work that he did. Mark was able to type. He had a very sharp mind. And he actually became a research assistant for a very well-known Christian author. And Mark's work was involved in the success of every book this author and speaker published and promoted. And you wouldn't know it. Mark was a behind-the-scenes guy, but he was content to do that because he had the opportunity, through the God-given gifts he had been given, to apply himself into work rather than be lazy, rather than be the sluggard of Proverbs chapter 6 that we read about yesterday. Mark refused to let himself believe the lies that he could not do it. And I think any of us who are relatively healthy would look at Mark's situation and think he has every reason in the world to take that excuse, doesn't he? I mean, he's severely handicapped. He can't walk. He can barely get in and out of his wheelchair to get into his bed. And there were times where he would call us at the church, and someone would have to go and help Mark because he had fallen. We'll help him up out of the floor, help him into his wheelchair, but he was always committed to working through those things and getting the help when he needed it, but being independent when he could. And he relied on the Lord to give him the strength. So I tell you that story just to challenge you in this way. What are the things in your life that you use as excuses for why you can't do something, for why you can't press ahead, why you can't be more diligent in providing for yourself through hard work? And granted, the hard work will look different for every person depending on their ability and depending on their physical condition. But as you can see in Mark's situation, there's a lot more possible than we often give ourselves credit for. We could be, with God's help, pressing forward like Mark did, and providing for ourselves through hard work. And the rewards are incredible. Mark was one of the most fulfilled, one of the most encouraging guys I've ever met. Was always eager to be of help to people however he could. I want to challenge you, look at your day, look at what you've got ahead, and see if there's any place that you are making an excuse for yourself when you should be, by God's grace, pressing forward and making something of the opportunities at hand, whether they are large or small. I want to encourage you, do not be like the sluggard. Be like the ant who stores its provisions away in summer and makes the most of every opportunity. We're going to dive into Proverbs more tomorrow on the Morning Mindset edition.